Why do married men who have beautiful wives cheat on their beautiful wives with an ugly woman? My name is Dr. Z. You are welcome to another interesting episode of The Talk with Dr. Z. I will be right back. In today's episode of The Talk with Dr. Z, we are going to respond to anonymous stories that I get in my TikTok DMs, okay? So, I am quite popular on TikTok, and people, especially women, send me a lot of direct messages regarding their relationship struggles, and I want to use the opportunity to share some so we can respond to some of those stories and learn from it. So, this week's episode is going to be interesting, it's going to be fun, and you don't want to miss it. So, let's get straight into our first story. So, our first story says, "Good morning, Dr. Z. Please, I need your take on this issue in a group I belong to." So, this story is from an African woman based on her name. She said, "This is question for the gods. Why do men leave their beautiful wives to chase an ugly woman?" And I just want to start by saying this, okay? First of all, marriage means a lot to women than it means to men. Marriage means a lot more to women, especially African women, than it means to African men. African men don't really care about marriage. And when I tell my African sisters this, they're like, oh my God, African culture socializes African women to be very male centered and to aspire for marriage. During childhood, African women are being trained to be a wife and a mother. So African women are very marriage centered. And so I can understand, the source of this question, especially because she belongs to a married group. So let us tackle this particular story. First point, marriage means a lot more to women than it means to men. So a man cheating on you with a woman that you believe is ugly is because that is what he wants to do. Women value marriage more. Also, as a married woman, when your man is cheating with another woman, and I know African men will go like, oh, we are not cheating, we are polygamous. Yeah. Polygamy and cheating are two different things, but that is a topic I am going to tackle later. However, my point is, for you as a wife to label the side chick as ugly, I think that most women think that they are in competition with other women. First of all, I do not think that any woman is ugly. We all just have different levels of attractiveness based on the societal or the social norms. And so I don't think any woman is ugly. But if you are a married woman and your husband is sleeping with or cheating with or having an affair with a woman you perceive to be ugly, then I think you have a problem, because your problem should not be the woman. The reason why you're calling her ugly is because you're looking at yourself and you think you're better than her or you look better than her. So I think your focus should be on your husband. In most cases, in the African context, when a husband is cheating, women will go out there and fight. There are women who will, harass the side chick, go fight the side chick, threaten the side chick, and they leave the husband. And I think that is misplaced anger. So if your woman and your husband is cheating, direct the energy towards your husband, not the side chick. And so you calling her ugly is an indication that you think she is the problem, she is your competition, and not your husband who is the problem. And that is the reason why you will label the wife as beautiful and the side chick as ugly. Point number 2, I think that women believe that being beautiful and sacrificing everything for a man would make him like love them or would make him faithful or commit to a marriage. Like, dear ladies, no matter what you do, a man who wants to be faithful and loyal will be faithful and loyal. It has nothing to do with your looks, your beauty, your body, your sexual attractiveness, or the sacrifices that you make, or your presentation of a good wife. Like, you can do everything for a man. You can make sacrifices for a man, but until that man is willing to honor the marriage, he will still not value it. So if your woman relax on, oh, I'm a beautiful woman, I'm doing everything for my husband, and he is still cheating, because a man must make up his mind to be committed in a marriage, and not necessarily because of what you do. Finally, I want to say this: men do not have any loyalty towards women. Men generally have loyalty towards themselves, and that is why men cheat. When a man is cheating, he's choosing himself, he's choosing his happiness, he's choosing his sexual pleasure. So men have no loyalty to you as a woman, and I think women don't know that, or women struggle to accept that. Men are loyal to themselves, to their sexual needs, and to their happiness. Okay, so a man has no loyalty to you in terms of putting your needs first as a woman, putting your emotional needs, putting your mental needs as his woman first. No, men are loyal to themselves. They are not loyal to you as a woman. I know that is difficult for women to hear, because for most women, they think about, when they think about the concept of loyalty, they think about the other person. I'm not saying women do not cheat. When women think about the concept of loyalty, they're thinking of it in terms of, being loyal to the other person, the other person's emotional needs, and the impact of the choices they are going to make on the other person. Men are not like women, and men are loyal to themselves, their feelings, and their happiness. And a man will always choose himself. He will always choose himself, choose his happiness, and it doesn't matter the impact of his choices on the woman. With this particular story that required my take, I don't think a wife should be calling the side chick ugly. I think if your husband is cheating and you think you're a better looking woman than his side chick, begin to plan your exit. It's as simple as that. Begin to plan your exit. Like, do not call the side chick ugly. Do not go and fight, ladies. Anytime a man puts you in a position where you feel the need to exchange words with another woman because of him, you gotta plan your exit. So yeah. So to the wives in that group, focus on yourself, focus on your mental health, focus on your physical health, focus on your emotional health, and just do not be focused on what the man is doing, because this is what we mean by decenter men. You need to decenter your husband and focus on yourself, and if possible, plan your exit. Most importantly, dear African women, if you have a promiscuous husband, make sure that you are getting your sexually transmitted infection or disease test every 3 to 6 months, okay? Make sure you get tested, because according to research, when it comes to HIV transmission rate in sub-Saharan Africa, most of the new cases of HIV infections occurred among heterosexual women who were in marriages or long-term relationships, and they got it from their male partner. So stay safe and make sure you're putting yourself first as a woman. Do not focus on what the man is doing and how ugly the side chick is. Focus on protecting yourself from getting any STD, and make sure you plan your exit. So I hope this advice works for the women in that particular group. The second story goes like this. The father of my 7-year-old child got the opportunity to travel outside the country, and he got married this year to a lady who holds a degree in biomedical engineering, and I am now doing a diploma in nursing. Sometimes I feel like I am late in life and nothing good came out of me. I feel depressed each and every day after getting to know that he married someone who was better than me. Please, any advice for me? First of all, rule number one, ladies, rule number one: never get pregnant for a man out of wedlock. That is the rule. Never get pregnant for a man out of wedlock. A relationship is not a legal status. A relationship does not give you any legal protection. So do not get pregnant for a man out of wedlock. If you had refrained from getting pregnant out of wedlock, you would not be feeling so down because your baby daddy married a woman you perceive to be better than you because she is a biomedical engineer. Okay, so I don't think the woman is better than you. I think she is more educated than you. She is a biomedical engineer. So I think she's just more educated than you, but you saying that she's better than you is an indication of how you feel about yourself and how you perceive yourself. And I think that you need to work on your self-esteem. A woman being more educated than you, it does not mean that she's better than you. Okay, it does not mean that. This is going to be my advice. I would say that focus on the diploma nursing course that you are doing. Focus on that. Also make sure that you get therapy if you can afford it, because I feel therapy will help you get your self-confidence back and also improve your self-esteem. That is if you can afford it. But most importantly, I would say that you must begin to see things from a very different perspective. So long as the man is committed to taking care of your 7-year-old that both of you have, that is fine. If he is fulfilling his financial obligations and emotional and mental obligations as a father or a parent, even though he's currently not in the same country with you, so long as he's putting in the effort, sending the money that is required to take care of the child, and making time to call via video to bond with the child emotionally and mentally, I think that should be your focus. But again, the lesson here is never get pregnant out of wedlock. I do not care how you feel about your boyfriend. Oh my God, Dr. Z, he loves me. Men will string you along. Again, I say this all the time on my TikTok and people do not like it. The truth is that men choose women based on where they are in life. Okay, so if a man is on a certain financial level, he will choose a certain type of woman. When he upgrades or he moves to a higher level, his preference in women will change. So when he was with you, you were the type of woman that he wanted. When he left the country to a different country, he was exposed to different women, and now his preference has changed. Just always remember that as a woman, the things you can do for yourself is to make sure you do not get pregnant out of wedlock. And secondly, you are always improving yourself and improving your life. I can imagine how you feel because you are currently comparing yourself to your baby daddy's wife. And the lady is just simply more educated than you are. She is not better than you. So I would say focus on yourself. Focus on your nursing diploma. Make sure you're doing well in the program, and overall, work on healing and improving your self-concept. All right. So yeah, if you have any comments regarding this story, do not forget, share it with me in the comment section, and make sure you engage with my content. So let's read one more anonymous story, and I think we will wrap it up for this week's episode. So here we go. Hi, Doc. I want to ask you something. It has always been my dream to get married, but my parents are not financially stable at the moment. And I have a guy who is taking care of me through nursing school. So many nurses. In hopes to marry me one day. In your honest opinion, do you think it's a good idea? He is really a good person and he has come through for me. Okay, so the person said that it has always been her dream to get married, and she is an African woman, specifically, I think a Ghanaian woman. It's okay to have the dream to be married, but I think that as a woman, you need to be financially stable, emotionally stable, mentally stable before you consider marriage. However, I think her dilemma is she's not from a financially privileged background, and so there is a man in her life that is taking care of her financially through nursing school, and he always comes through for her. I think this is a sticky situation. One of the things that I am eternally grateful for is the fact that during my academic journey, I was not supported by any man. So even after my PhD, I would never feel obliged to marry somebody because I was not supported by any man externally, with the exception of my brother, who lives in America. So, yeah, that's my brother. But in terms of a man supporting me financially with the hopes that when I'm done with school, he would marry me, that is something that I am grateful for, because I feel like when a man invests in you financially, you become obliged in some sense to marry him because you are indebted to him. And we see this all the time. People marry certain people out of gratitude, out of indebtedness, and it, I don't know. I just feel like you are in a sticky situation. It could work out and it may not work out, especially I do not know the man's educational level. Sometimes, if the man who is funding your life is not all that educated and he supports you through school and you come out and you enter the workforce and then you meet more refined and more educated men, sometimes you begin to feel the man who supported you is not on your level, and that pushes women to cheat. I'm just saying. So for me, it's a sticky situation because you feel indebted to him, and as a result, you are saying, oh, well, he's a good person and he's come through for me. From the tone of the message, I feel like she would end up marrying the guy, but I just feel like this is going to be my advice. If you finish your nursing school and you start working, I would say save up some money and, go to the man, give him that money, not, the total amount he spent on you, but save up a significant sum and give it back to him as a sign of gratitude. And then perhaps you can start dating him, and hopefully the whole dynamic would have been lessened or neutralized a little bit, where you may be more open to observe his character and determine if you guys are a fit. I do not like the idea of marrying somebody because they took care of you. And this story really happens in Africa a lot. Like, there are a lot of women who ended up marrying men out of gratitude and being indebted to them because those men took care of them financially or took care of their younger ones. And half of the time, I just feel like the women settled and the man is not their type, but because the man helped them financially, they married the man. And sometimes such women end up cheating, especially if the man's educational level is low, and then you go high in your education and you go to the workforce and you meet all these refined men who are your spec. I feel like it could lead to infidelity in the long run. So it's a sticky situation. I wish her the very best, but marrying somebody because they have been there for you financially, it's the power dynamics is already not balanced, and you're not doing it because you want to, but it is because of everything they've done for you financially. And because the person has invested in you financially, there may be some behaviors and attitudes that you may gloss over because you are financially in need and you need that financial support. So there may be things that you would not see. And then if you marry the person, you begin to see those things and it becomes a huge problem. The biggest challenge, I think, for most African women is poverty. Like, poverty pushes most African women to be with men they might not necessarily want to be with, but because those men supported them financially, they feel obliged. And indebted to such men and they end up marrying such men. And I am eternally grateful to God that I never had to go through that, because I am sure relationship and marriage is difficult. So being with somebody out of gratitude because they supported you, that's quite a difficult situation to be in. So I wish her the very best, but I think it's a sticky situation. It could work, it might not work, and it could lead to infidelity on the part of the lady. So hey, best of luck. These are my thoughts. What are your thoughts when it comes to this particular story? Share it with me in the comment section. This brings me to an end of this week's episode of The Talk with Dr. Z. If you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe, engage in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts about any of the stories I have shared in this episode. My name is Dr. Z, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care. Bye.